everyone, and good morning. My name is Samantha, and I'm going to be your safari guide here today on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, a couple of friendly safety reminders before we do enter the reserve. Remain seated at all times. Keep those arms, hands, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times as well. If you have any children sitting on your lap, make sure that they stay seated on your lap and your lap only. Now, we're entering into the homes of these animals, so we want to show them respect. This is their home after all, so please keep those conversations and voices to a minimum, and please do not call out towards the animals to try to grab their attention. We don't want to scare any off. Now, this is the Little Atiri Forest, our first stop for our adventure through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and the first animal we see is the okapi. Now, the okapi may look like it's related to the zebra because of its hind legs, but it is not related to the zebra. It is related to the giraffe. It has the same skeleton, except theirs is a lot smaller, as well as a very long, prehensile tongue to grab those leaves off the trees. The okapi was actually not discovered by the Western world up until 1901. Before then, we thought they were just part of African folklore. Now, there are a couple of animals here on the right-hand side coming up on this hill over here. These dark animals you see here are bongos. The lighter one on the top of the hill, those are greater kudus. And the bird that you see there is the saddle-billed stork. The saddle-billed stork gets its name because it kind of looks like it has a little yellow saddle on its bill. And it's about a 5-foot tall bird with a 12-foot wingspan. The bongos get the nickname Ghost of the Forest. They're very shy and reclusive, and they blend very well in the background. And the greater kudus are one of the tallest of the antelope species at 55 inches at the shoulders. Now, to the left, that is a black rhino. Now, the black rhino is actually one of the smaller rhinos we have here in the reserve, weighing around 3,000 pounds. Unfortunately, there are less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. This is because they're being hunted and poached for their horns.
Rip.
Many regions believe if you consume rhino horn, it can give you special abilities. But this is not true at all. Rhino horn is just made of the same material as our hair and fingernails called keratin. So we have absolutely no use for rhino horn. Now we're going to go ahead and leave the Little Atiri Forest and head towards the Saki River, where I heard there is some hippo activity. So let's see if we find any hippos. Hippos are nocturnal animals. That means they like to spend their days sleeping, usually in the water. And at night, that's when they come to graze for that grass. But it looks like we are in luck. It looks like some hippos have found the water to be too cool and nice and cool enough outside to go ahead and sunbathe for a bit. Hippos are known to be one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. Well, that is because they are extremely territorial. They just try to protect their homes and families. Hippos are rather large animals that weigh up to 3,000 pounds. Even though they are incredibly large, they can actually outrun a human on land, and they only eat about 80 pounds of food a day, which is a very small amount for their body size. The pelicans that you see on the islands there, those are pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their name from the pink feathers they get on their backs during mating season. They are actually the smallest of the pelican species and have about a 6-foot wingspan. Now be cautious as we do cross this bridge. This bridge is known as Croc Bridge. As you look to your left, there are Nile crocodiles. Now, they are cold-blooded animals. That means they do not have any sweet glands. So in order for them to cool off, they either jump into the water or leave their mouths open. Now, speaking of their mouths, their jaws are 2,000 pounds strong per square inch. Now, even though they have these incredibly strong jaws, both mom and dad Nile crocodile will actually hold their eggs in their mouths to encourage their little ones to hatch. Now we're going to head to an entirely different ecosystem. We're going to head to the savanna grasslands, home to some of the most famous animals, such as elephants, lions, and giraffes. Coming up, a very important part of the ecosystem is the baobab tree here on the right-hand side. It's also known as the upside down tree because it kind of looks like the roots are on the top there, but those are not its roots. It just remains leafless 9 months out of the year. Now it does that to maintain as much water as it can in those large trunks. That way during times of drought it has a chance of survival. But also during times of drought, animals will poke holes into the baobab tree, suck out some of that moisture and help them from dehydration during those times of drought. And that's why it's so important in the savannah.
Giraffe.
There's a giraffe here on the right hand side. There's actually a couple giraffe here. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world and go up to 18 to 20 feet tall. Now when a baby giraffe is born, it's about 6 feet tall. It also has a 6-foot drop when it's born. That's because the mothers do give birth standing up. But it's not all that bad. That drop to the ground will help kickstart its lungs. And a baby giraffe can start to walk within an hour of its life. And it's important that it does so because there's always predators out there. Now they're up to several subs. On the left-hand side, I do see some African wild dogs there.
Dogs.
African wild dogs are one of the most successful predators in Africa. They are more successful than most large cats. 90% of the time, they will capture their prey. I do need everybody to remain seated, please. Remain seated. I need everybody to remain seated, please. The way the African wild dog capture their prey is by taking turns chasing after it up until it collapses in complete exhaustion. And they're very thoughtful when it comes to their families, feeding their young, elderly, and sick before they feed themselves, because they always know they can go out and hunt for more food. To the left, past the giraffe, the brown animal you see there, those are sable antelope. Sable antelope are the emblem of this reserve, and unlike most animals of prey, they fight back instead of running away. Now, these very large orange cone-like structures you see are termite mounds. Termite mounds are made of saliva
Termites?
and in a little bit of dung. They'll actually bask in the sun all day and become hard as concrete.
Epic. Epic.
Now, giraffes, they have 7 vertebrae in their neck. That's actually the same amount of vertebrae we have in our neck, except giraffes are just much larger. A full-grown giraffe's neck is about 6 feet long. They also have very large hearts. Their hearts can weigh up to 25 pounds. Well, giraffes, they need these large hearts to pump all that blood of those very long necks of theirs to their brains. Over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see these beige animals right here. There's one right here. There's one a little bit further. Those are Patterson elands. Now, Patterson elands are one of the largest of the antelopes. They can be about 6 foot the shoulders and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. Now, both on the right and left-hand side, you can see these small beige animals. These are springboks. They can weigh about 90 pounds or about 2 feet tall. They're full-grown adults.
Donkey.
Springboks get their name because they repeatedly spring up into the air to avoid the capture of predators. The gray animals that you see over there, those are white-bearded wildebeest. White-bearded wildebeest have one of the largest herds of migrating animals. Up to 1.5 million can be found in one herd, and they can migrate up to 500 to 1,000 miles. The word wildebeest actually means wild beast in Afrikaans. They also go by another name called gnu, spelled G-N-U, and this is because of a grunting noise that they make.
Gnu.
Over here on the right-hand side, you can see an African elephant. The shoulders and weigh up to 2,000 to 14,000 pounds.
Yeah, I'm only gonna record off this side.
Now, I'm not seeing any more elephants. Just seen that one, so we're going to continue moving forward and see if we can find any more elephants. Maybe even an entire herd. Now, unfortunately, elephants are endangered animals. They're being hunted and poached for their tusks, which are made of ivory. They're also losing a lot of their homes to habitat destruction caused by us humans. But there are ways we can actually help out. Recycling is actually a big part of helping out. Make sure to recycle your paper, your plastic, and your electronics. Now, the reason why I say electronics is because we do mine for a lot of metal here in Africa. A lot of that metal does go to our electronics. So make sure to recycle those when you're done with them. That way we can help and stop the mining process here in Africa. Coming up on both the left and right hand side, those are tusk marks you see in this red clay. Those are caused by elephants. They like to dig their tusks into the red clay, wait for something to fall, and then eat it. Not because they think it tastes good, but because it has vitamins and minerals in it, just in case they might be lacking that from their diet. I do see some African elephants up ahead. Looks like there might be a herd. A herd of elephants is usually a matriarchal society, which means the eldest and most dominant female is the one that leads the herd to new sources of food and water. Now, she has quite an important job. Each adult elephant will eat up to 300 pounds of food a day, and there could be up to 20 to 50 elephants in one herd. In a matriarchal society of elephants, it's usually all females with some younger males. Now, once those younger males reach adulthood, usually at the age of 14, they will either go on their own or join another herd of male elephants called bachelors. A way they can keep up with their social skills. Now, as you can see, they don't drink straight from their trunks. They just hold the water into their mouths, then squirt that water into their mouths. Their trunks kind of act as a handle for elephants, a way they can grab items such as food and that water, and even dirt. Elephants like to throw dirt and mud on their backs to help protect their skins from the sun. To the left are some greater flamingos. Now, greater flamingos are the largest and lightest pink of flamingos. They can grow to be about 5 feet tall. Now, when they are born, they are not born pink, they are actually born gray. They get that pink later on from part of their diet, which contains brine shrimp. Now, it looks like the warden has confiscated some elephant tusks and rhino horns from some poachers. Unfortunately, even on protected reserves like ours, we're unable to keep every single poacher out. This goes to reserves all around the world. Poachers are finding ways to enter into these reserves to hunt these animals only for profit. They are the most dangerous threats of all. They hunt these animals not caring about how many are left in this world. So our jobs as reserves is to help protect these animals. A way that you can help out is actually by donating to reserves around the world. If you donate, a lot of that money will go to help get better surveillance for these animals so we can help protect them. Right here. Now, cheetahs, they're the fastest land mammals. They can go 70 miles an hour in 3 seconds. Now, even though they are incredibly fast, they can only maintain this speed for a couple of hundred yards. If you look at their faces, you look at that one's face right now, you can notice there's dark markings right there where their eyes are, right under their eyes. That will actually help them to reflect the sun from their face, because they do hunt during the day. And as you can see, they have very long, beautiful tails to help with their direction and balance, and they are going super fast. Now, coming off these very large rocks you see here, these are Kopi rocks. Kopi rocks attract large cats, such as lions. Lions actually like to stand on top of the rocks to look out into tall grass to see if any prey might be hiding out from them. Now, there are some white rhinos over here on the right-hand side. We're going to get to them in a moment. I do see some lions here on the left. Lions do remain inactive 15 to 20 hours a day. This will help them maintain as much energy as they can to do their hunting at night. Now, the females, they do most of the hunting at night, while the male will stay back and he will protect the rest of the pride and his territory. They have quite important jobs. They need to maintain as much energy as they can, especially the females. They will go out, they'll hunt for themselves, but they also have to bring back food for the rest of the pride. Now, coming up on the left are warthogs. Now, warthogs are one of the largest burrowing animals in Africa. They burrow those large holes with their snouts and tusks. They then back themselves into those burrowing holes with their tusks sticking out. That way they can protect themselves if they need to. Now, over here on the right, you can see those white rhinos. White rhinos are actually much larger than black rhinos, weighing up to 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. But unfortunately, just like the black rhino, the white rhino is also being hunted and poaching their horns. Towards the back there, that furry animal that you see there, that is a water buck. The water buck gets its name from the unusual amount of water that it drinks for an antelope. And instead of migrating like most antelope do, they just spend their whole lives by one living source of water. The eggs you see on the ground there, those are ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are the largest eggs in the world. They are laid by the largest birds in the world. Ostrich eggs can weigh up to 3 pounds. A grown man can actually stand on one of those eggs without them breaking. That's because it does need to support the weight of a 300-pound bird. Even though ostriches are birds, they have wings, they cannot fly, but instead they can run really fast. They can run up to 45 miles an hour, which makes them the fastest animal with 2 legs. Unfortunately, I've not seen animals here regarding Glen, but I do see the gate there, which will lead us to the end of the reserve, which means it is almost the end of the safari. The warden post is just up ahead where I'll be dropping you off. Now, hopefully you all were inspired by the animals and the facts that I've given you here today to go out there and make a difference for them. There are many ways to make a difference, like I was saying, to recycle, that's a great way to help out. Supporting reserves is a great way to help out. Also supporting zoos as well. Zoos do research on animals. That way we can learn more about them and see what we can do to help them out in the wild. Also, zoos do breeding programs where we can breed these animals where they are protected and where we keep them off the extinct list. You also donate to conservation. It's a great way to help out as well. We have a conservation here called the Disney Conservation Fund. Now, if you donate to the Disney Conservation Fund, Disney will actually match you dollar for dollar. You can go to any food and beverage or merchandise location and ask how you can give. You also get a really nice button to go along with it to show your support.